Welcome, Jacqueline Terrell. It's
Thank you.
good to see you. How are you and your family?
We are doing well. We are staying home, working safe, staying home, and following Judge Hidalgo's orders, so everybody's well.
Excellent, excellent. Well, welcome to Chamber Chat, and
Thank you.
I'd like to welcome all of you to Chamber Chat as well. Chamber Chat is something that the Chamber is providing to get information to our community about subject matters that impact businesses. And today we are talking with Jacqueline Terrell, who is a nonprofit expert and has been a nonprofit expert for the Chamber. So welcome, Jackie. We affectionately call her Jackie.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
So I'll tell you all a little bit about Jackie. Jacqueline Terrell believes that strong organizations create strong communities. It is on that belief that she founded J. Terrell Consulting in 2006 and has assisted hundreds of clients with nonprofit formation and wraparound services. A native New Orleanian, which we will not hold against her, Jacqueline has studied at the University of New Orleans and she has a Houston connection. She went to the University of Houston and earned a certificate of achievement from the prestigious Rice University's Leadership Institute of Nonprofit Executives. She also has over 20 years of experience in education and business related to nonprofit and any other businesses you can think of. So let's welcome Jacqueline Terrell.
Well, thank you, Carol. Thank you for having me and trusting me with your audience. And I want to thank you for your leadership, especially during this time and using technology to create the Chamber Chat. I'm super excited to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. We're in a new normal and just trying to shift things around.
That's right, that's right.
So let's jump into our some questions here. What are some of the issues, the common issues that nonprofits are dealing with at this time?
Well, the first thing I want to say and remind everybody that nonprofits are businesses. And so pretty much the same challenges that businesses are facing right now, our nonprofits are facing them as well. And so with the social distancing recommendation and the stay home, work safe order that's been issued here in Harris County and in the Houston area, around the country and around the world, people they have to cancel events, which is the number one thing that our nonprofits are having to deal with, and especially if it's an annual event and it's an event that generates a lot of revenue for an organization. Those events have to be canceled, and we don't know at this point when they can be rescheduled. So dealing with the cancellation of a major event is one issue that nonprofits are dealing with. I would say another one would be a drop in revenue or in donations, because right now people may not even be thinking about nonprofits right now. They're in survival mode and they're thinking about their household and their loved ones, and so they may not be participating with the nonprofit in their usual manner. So I'll say that would be another issue. And then also programming, we can't forget that. So the programs are suffering because especially if it's an organization that deals with youth services, maybe a homeless population, maybe seniors, because everyone's at home right now, they're not able to target their audience or their target market. And so right now the programming is suffering. So nonprofits are dealing with those issues right now, and they're trying to find ways to survive and get the services out there that are still needed during this time.
Right, right. And we're nonprofit, the Chamber is nonprofit, so we are not able to have many of our events. We had to cancel all of our March events and are just now utilizing technology such as Zoom to reach out to our members. So yes, canceling events is definitely an issue, definitely an issue.
That's right.
So having talked about those issues, how can nonprofits, I mean, one of the issues that nonprofits have, not just businesses, but nonprofits as well, is cash flow. So how can nonprofits cut down on costs without cutting the services that we provide?
Right. Well, I would say a good place to start is reviewing your budget or your expenses and trying to figure out what costs can be eliminated. So any cost that's not essential right now, cut it out. We're not trying to spend any money that we don't have to spend at this point in time. We want to be smart about the amount of money that we're spending. And so that may mean that the services that we're used to outsourcing, maybe we don't need to outsource those anymore. So that may mean maybe training an employee or a volunteer in a certain area, maybe using Zoom and setting up online meetings or things like that. So we have to figure out what's not essential at this point, and then just streamline where the money is going and just be smart about spending money. We don't want to spend all the money knowing, because we don't know how long this is going to last. And so you want to be smart about those services.
And so that means in looking at our budget, looking at our line items, we can't get emotionally attached to things.
Well, that's true too. That's right. That's right. Some things are going to have to go at this point. We're all in survival mode, and we want to still have a good quality connected with our services, because our reputations depend upon that. But we also want to be smart financially, fiscally responsible as well. Mm-hmm. So just go through the budget, check with your board, just go through those things that are non-essential and eliminate those for right now. And then when it's time to carry those services on again, then do that at that time.
Right. And, as I think about it, it's saving money is just very important right now. Right. And so it's not that we can never go back to where we were, but right. Just for this temporary moment, we just have to have a shift in our mentality. We're used to having things the way that they were, but we're in a new normal now. So it might mean that we have to operate without one or two things, and we can easily, sometimes maybe not so easily, but right. these circumstances are forcing us to quickly adjust.
Exactly.
So would you advise, making the cuts sooner rather than later?
I would say make them sooner than later. Now is the time. Pretty much at this point, we know what we can do and what we can't do. And so I would say move with urgency on that, and then eliminate those things that can be eliminated and save money where you can save money.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for that. And so we know that volunteers are the lifeline of nonprofit organizations, and some people make nonprofit volunteering a staple in what they do on a weekly or daily basis. Mm-hmm. So now that we're working remotely, what can we do to keep volunteers engaged?
Yeah, we definitely want to keep volunteers engaged. They are so special, as you said, to the organization. And why? Because they're not getting paid. You could be doing a bunch of other things rather than volunteering for your organization for free. But I'm sure they do it because they love the organization and they love the mission of the organization. So you definitely don't want those people to fall off the books. You want to keep in touch with them. So I would say too, I would suggest to the leadership to maybe the executive director can do this, or maybe the board chair maybe, but call the volunteers, make a personal phone call. How are you doing this time? I don't want anything from you other than to know how you're doing right now. That goes a long way. That means that you're going to keep that volunteer for a long time. And so I would think other ways to keep them engaged. Maybe look at what skill set they brought to the table when they were volunteering. So maybe it's a young person that's good at technology. So I would engage that person with the social media campaign, maybe challenge them to create a social media campaign during this crisis.
Great idea.
That would keep a young person engaged. They would be happy to be on social media for free, right? So I would use that person in that way. Or maybe it's a senior that's not so much social media savvy, but maybe they can make phone calls to maybe other volunteers. Maybe they can make phone calls to past donors, but you want to use everybody where their gifts and talents are. And definitely that's a way to keep non-paid workers engaged.
Right. And we want to keep our volunteers engaged because they're often our biggest cheerleaders.
That's right. That's right. They're the voice in the community for the organization. So you definitely want to keep them engaged during this time. You want them singing your praises during this time about the things that you're doing to help other people and to get the message. Any messaging out that you're doing about COVID-19 right now, you want them to get that message out as well.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So nonprofits, take care of your volunteers.
That's right. Love on them.
Love on them right now, because we all need love, but
That's right.
To really love on our nonprofit volunteers at this time. So,
That's right.
and so with so many people strapped for cash, and we're grateful that the stimulus bill has passed. How do we speak to the public and encourage them to continue to give during this time?
Mhm. So that's a tricky subject, right? You have to tread lightly when you're asking people for money. But if you are an executive director, or if you are board chair or a member of a board, that's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do. So I would say just ask. So in your online messaging, we're assuming right now everybody's self quarantining and order to stay out of their workplaces. And so what I would recommend is whatever messaging that you're getting out there, direct traffic to your website, direct traffic to your donate button, okay? And I would just remind people, hey, we're still here. The work still needs to be done, and we still need money to get that done. And believe it or not, a lot of people will donate, especially if they have in the past, but you don't know who you might touch, what new person you might direct to your website. And right now, not everybody's out of work. Some people are still working. Some people are getting paid when they're not physically at work. And so those people can donate as well. So last week on Facebook, I saw a Facebook post from a client of mine who wanted to feed the seniors and the disabled in that community. And so she put a message out on Facebook, and I had some disposable funds that I could donate to her. So I immediately sent her some money to do that. And she was very excited to get it. And so I said that to say, people like me, people like you, it's still some charities and some organizations that you're passionate to and have a connection to. So don't be afraid to just ask people, and definitely direct them to the website. If you are a nonprofit and you don't have a website and you don't have a donate button, we've got a problem. You really need to call me, because that needs to be the number one thing that you have on your website.
Yes.
So definitely direct the traffic there, and any messaging that you're sending out right now, just ask.
Right. And I think at this time, people need something to feel good about.
Yes.
I think, giving to their favorite organization will make them feel good at this.
That's right. It takes the focus off of us. We're not feeling so bad when we're helping other people.
Right. That's right.
And so definitely, you don't want to rob people of that opportunity. Just ask them. Tell them what work you're doing. Show them who's affected by your work, and just ask.
Right. And it may or may not be the same amount of money that we're used to, but something is better than nothing, right?
That's right. Every cent, every dollar counts. So yes.
Yes, indeed. So don't be afraid to ask, Nonprofit Nation.
That's right.
Don't be afraid to ask, because
Yep.
we plan on seeing you here after COVID-19.
That's right. You're in the
So,
asking business.
yes, exactly, exactly. So how can we communicate, when as we're talking about giving, how can we communicate to the public that their donations are tax deductible?
So that's a good question. So we talked about the website. So definitely putting it in a prominent place on the website. So not every nonprofit organization has a tax exempt designation to it. So there are about 29 categories of nonprofits under the 501c code. And so out of those 29, I would say maybe 3 of those contributions are tax deductible. So if you're not sure, if there's a listener that's not sure what their designation is, most people know 501c3. They get that immediately, right? Charitable organizations, most people get that. But there are 28 other categories. And so if you're not sure, a good resource is Charity Navigator. Search for Charity Navigator and type in types of nonprofits, and you'll get a nice little list of all the 29 organizations, the categories, what types of organizations fall under those categories. And then to the far right, you'll see contributions tax exempt. It'll say yes or no. So if your organization is a tax exempt organization, that means that people donating to your organization can write those donations off on their tax return. And that's a good thing. That's a good position to be in, because most people look for tax write-offs. Most people love that. Okay, right. So we want to know that they're giving to a tax exempt organization. So confirm that, be confident about that, and then blast it on your website.
Right. And don't be afraid to blast it on social media.
That's right. Remind people, hey, and it's tax time. So somebody out there may need a tax donation. And so we talked about the 29 categories. So say your organization is not a tax exempt organization. Say you are a 501c6, like the chamber,
Yes.
right? The chamber is a 501c6 organization. So in situations like that, organizations can form foundations. They can form 501c organizations where they can funnel funds through. Say they want to give away scholarships, or they want to give away business grants, or they want to do something charitable for the community. Create a foundation, and that's a channel where people can donate, corporations can donate, you can get grants, right? Because you need to be a 501c3 in order to qualify for certain grants, and you can funnel money that way into that foundation to carry out that mission, whatever that mission is.
Right, and we have created a foundation for that purpose, so that those who want to support the mission of the chamber can receive the tax deduction by donating to our GHBC foundation. And I think that we are in line, because we have been sending out that donate information, because we want to make sure that we're here after COVID-19 as we plan. So we're nonprofit as well, and can use those donations too. So
exactly,
make sure forming a foundation.
Form a foundation. Consider that the work must still go on. So how can we get that work done? So definitely.
Exactly. And you had mentioned grants. So are you aware of any resources or places that the nonprofits can go to get information about grants at this time?
Yeah, so actually, we don't want to sleep on the grants. That's definitely an opportunity to get free money to carry out your mission. There are lots of grants out there. So Dr. Anitra Piper, she's on my team as well, and she gives an excellent 2-day grant workshop for those people who want to learn how to do that. Now, that might not be your thing. You might not want to spend 2 days creating a grant. Maybe you feel like you're not a good writer. Maybe you feel like you don't have time, whatever the reason. You can always outsource that task to someone on your team or to someone else. And so definitely grants.gov. If you type in COVID-19 and grants, you'll be surprised what comes up. And their money's out there. They're becoming available every day, because we're in a time that we haven't been in before. So this is new territory. And so opportunities are popping up every day. So if you are considering applying for a grant for your organization, type in COVID-19, type in grants, and then just see what pops up, and then follow up on those leads.
Well, that's excellent information, because we love money that we don't have to pay back.
It's a grant. You don't have to pay it back. That's right.
You don't
as long as you do what you say you're going to do with the money. Now, that's a conversation for another day. I don't want anybody getting into trouble. So if you get a grant, you need to carry out the mission that you say that you're going to carry out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, thinking about the fact that we need money, and we've had to cancel our events, and sometimes those events have been fundraising opportunities. Do you recommend that nonprofits hold their events online?
Oh, that's an excellent way to get some money coming in, and you don't have to physically be there. You don't incur the cost of a hotel, or you don't incur the cost of a golf course, or whatever goes into play when you're having an event. So that's an excellent way to get money from the comfort of your home, like you and I are seeing and doing today. And so online, consider the mission of the organization. Say you're working with youth and you want to offer some type of training or something that somebody can participate in. You can offer it for a nominal fee. Now, you may not get the fee that you would have gotten had you had that event in person, but you can charge a fee for that training and make it quality training, make it quality, but that's a good way to get some revenue coming into the organization. So that's an excellent way. And one thing I know that COVID-19 has done for a lot of us is forced us to use this technology to the fullest, right? And so if you're not an expert, my motto now is, it doesn't have to be perfect, just get it done. Done is better than perfect. So that first time you may fumble, you may not do something right the first time. It's a-okay. Don't overanalyze it, put it out there, and then record the next training video or host an online webinar, a live webinar. So those are excellent ways to not only get your message out and to tell the public that you're active and you're doing things, but it's accessible across the world. Just think about it. Anybody in the world can access your online training. They don't have to just physically be in your city. That's amazing. Yes. We should all be taking advantage of that.
Absolutely. And during this time, people are looking for news they can use.
Yes.
So someone will pay. Like you said, it may not be the dollar amount that you're used to receiving, but if it's something that can help them sustain their business and stay in business and get past COVID-19, they'll pay.
Yes, exactly.
They will.
Exactly.
Okay. Are you aware of any help that nonprofits may be receiving from the federal government?
Well, I know SBA has the loan opportunity. A lot of us have heard about that and may have listened to one of their webinars. I am so pleased to announce that J. Terrell Consulting has joint ventured with the Pro Se Legal Institute, and the attorneys and our paralegals and my team, we're working together to submit applications. So we're on the phone all the time with the SBA, getting answers to questions. We are talking to legislators, looking at the bill that the federal government, the money that the government is providing. So we're sorting that out. Again, it's new territory, it's uncharted territory, and so new information is coming out all the time, but there is money, emergency money and relief available for small businesses, nonprofits, and also churches. And so if you're out there and you fall in one of those categories, if you're having trouble meeting payroll, if you need money to just keep afloat throughout this period, the SBA is offering loans, very low percentage, 30-year loans. And just think about it. And I'm an optimist. I believe every organization listening, they're gonna pull in $1 million over the next year. You'll be able to pay that loan back. Don't even worry about it. If you need something to keep afloat now and to keep doing what you're passionate about and helping your community, apply. All they can tell you is no, if you don't qualify, but we're gonna get you in the system. We're gonna get you in there quickly. So anybody interested in doing that, I'll give my information at the end, and then they can contact me and we'll get that organization in the system. So nonprofits, small businesses, and churches.
So there should be no hesitation for nonprofits in applying.
Nope. Even if you've been in business less than 2 years, don't worry about it. Contact us. We'll navigate you through the process. You don't have to be in business so long. You don't have to bring in this huge amount of money. Small nonprofits, large nonprofits, apply and see what's available for you. It's $2 trillion out there allocated for that. So let's see where you fall into that scale and just get in the system and apply.
Right. And we want to do that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because as time goes on, it's going to get inundated. The system is probably already on information overload right now. So we're just advising people get in it early rather than later, and just start that process going.
And really those loans the terms are pretty good, wouldn't you say?
The terms are excellent. For nonprofits, 2.75% over 30 years. And there's no prepayment penalty. And so you can pay it off without a penalty. So, I mean, why not?
That really sounds great. I mean, it sounds like our federal government is working as hard as they can to assist us during that time. And I mean, paying back a loan over 30 years, pennies on the dollar almost.
That's right.
So now is the time to take advantage of it.
Exactly.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Just do it.
Consulting is here to help. So
that's right.
Okay. And so we talked a little bit about continuing to get the message out about your organization. And with so many emails going back and forth about COVID-19, how much communicating should nonprofits do with their members and with the public?
Right. Well, I would say probably just like everybody out there, I get a ton of emails every day on COVID-19. I'm on COVID-19 information overload. And what I would recommend to the organizations, consider how often you communicated with your audience before all of this happened. So say you send out an email blast every 3 days or every other day. Whatever that pattern was, I would continue that pattern because people are used to hearing from you. And what I would do is create some balance in the messaging that you're sending out. So maybe message number 1 can be about COVID-19 and how it affects your target audience. Maybe you can include a link to a reliable source to give them information. Maybe the money that we talked about that's available. Maybe you want to get that information out to your audience. Let that first email be about that. Maybe the second email can be on a lighter note. People are overwhelmed. You know, they're at home with their families. They're trying to balance kids not being in school. Some have lost jobs or income, you know, so they're really concerned right now. So I wouldn't do all emails on COVID. So maybe that second email can be a lighter story, or maybe a success story, or maybe a quote, just something feel good to kind of break the monotony of the COVID-19 emails. And then maybe that third email can be, you know, just something different. But I would definitely just create balance when you're doing that. Don't throw COVID-19 into your email every single time you send out an email blast. And also, we talked about directing that traffic to your website. This is a great time to send people to your website. Hopefully you have a lead generator on your website, and a lead generator is something that can capture a person's name and email address when they visit your website. So maybe you have a newsletter. If you don't have one, create one. Create some type of opportunity where you can capture that information. So you're also building your database at the same time. You know, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So you're getting out good information. You're sending people to your website, and you're also building your email database. And so consider something free, a newsletter, maybe a free download on something, but something where you can capture that information on your website. You want to direct traffic there. That's your goal right now. Right now, you're marketing. If nobody knows you're out there, then you don't exist.
Right. Even though we're in some tough times right now, we still have to market.
That's right.
I mean, and then as you think about it, I've seen some commercials. There was a pizza company that talked about how they are making sure they're taking care to keep the food protected and keep their employees protected. So therefore, when they deliver the food to you, your food, you can rest assured that it's been protected. But that's still a way for them to market.
That's right.
They are packaging the COVID-19 issue into marketing, and that's how they're keeping themselves in front of the customer. And also letting them know that they have products available, but they're still keeping themselves in front of the customer. So, you know, even though we're in a tough time, we still have to market.
Right, that's right. And use that technology. You know, again, if you're not used to doing that, now is the time. You can't be afraid of that. Done is better than perfect. Record a few videos and then just put them out there. Just put them out there. Talk about your organization. Talk about the work that you're still doing. Talk about the fact that you still need money to do that work, but get out there, market.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And so we're all anticipating still being around after COVID-19.
That's right.
So what things should nonprofits be doing at this time in preparation for the future?
Right. Oh, that's a great question. So what I would say is to make sure that you are considering where you are right now, and then look at your risk management plan. If you don't have one, now is the perfect time to create one. So what you want to do now is you want to make sure that you have insurance in place. You know, say you have some assets that need to be protected. Now you might be in a position to where you cannot, pay a lease maybe on a building, or pay a mortgage on something, or, pay your employees. Take a look at all of that and sit down and talk with an insurance professional and make sure that you're considering those things going forward. You definitely don't want to be in the same boat again if, God forbid, this would happen again. And so definitely think risk management. How can I minimize my risk for loss if this happened again? You definitely have to look at that.
And it doesn't matter how small or large the nonprofit is. Shouldn't each nonprofit have a risk management plan?
Oh, you should, absolutely. You're still a business. This is not a hobby. This is not a hobby for you. This is a business. And so even if you have 0 employees right now, you're looking to grow. You know, you're looking to get that $1 million grant. You're looking to servicing, you know, thousands of people in your community. So no, you need to plan for that type of growth, and risk management is a part of that.
Yes, so you heard it here first. Nonprofits, you need to get a risk management program in place because you will be here after COVID-19.
That's right. That's right. We're all going to be here, and we're going to come out better.
Yes, even better than we were before.
That's right.
So we want to thank Jacqueline Terrell for chatting with us today on Chamber Chat. You gave us some really, really good information. So how can people get in touch with you?
Yes, they can email me, Jackie, Jackie, at jterrellconsulting.com. They can visit my website, www.jterrellconsulting.com.
jterrellconsulting.com. And that's Terrell with 2 R's and 2 L's, just in case we don't get her back. She's also on social media. Look her up at jterrellconsulting.com or Jackie Terrell. You can get in touch with her. And while we're wrapping up, wanted to let you know what's going on with the Chamber. Please continue to check our website for updates regarding COVID-19 and what's happening with the Chamber. Also check our social media sites as well, as we are constantly promoting our businesses, letting the community know who we have out there who is servicing the needs of our community at this point in time. Please visit HoustonByBlack.com. That's HoustonByBlack.com for a list of our member businesses. And please support them. They're small businesses as well. So please tune in every Tuesday and Thursday for Chamber Chat at 11 a.m. Central Time. We aim to bring you information that you can use during this COVID time where things are a little bit tenuous, but we'll make it through. So we look forward to seeing you again next time on Chamber Chat. Enjoy your day.